if anyone has looked at the development of the critical text over time, you will see that there has been a rebalancing. Once the papyri were found, of course, the major unseals, Westcott and Hort and stuff were way over-influenced by Sinaiticus Vaticanus. But there has been a move away from just slavishly reproducing those manuscripts. And there are a number of readings that have been adopted in the more modern, UBS 5, NA 28, NA 27, that go against the Alexandrian readings. Is it still the majority of that? Yes, certainly, but not the case. Anyway, so it's not just the translation of the Alexandrian text. The Byzantine is taken into consideration. The Western is taken into consideration. The issue is the weighting of these various families. This also means that as more limit that particular text or tradition rather than the broader range of biblical texts in the Roman Empire. I just disagree. I don't think it's correct. This also means that as more manuscripts are found, the text will continue to be revised and more new translations will be released. There's no connection between the two. Yes, the text will continue to be revised as it must of necessity be. But that doesn't mean more and more new translations will be released. There might be revisions of continuing translations, but there's no logical connection between the two. It's like, we found new manuscripts. Come up with a new English translation. No, I don't even see where the connection there is. This can be rather confusing for the average churchgoer with scripture memorization. Okay. It also is somewhat odd that the text we use today is one that never existed in the past, and it is an attempt to reconfigure an original autograph that we don't actually have. Now, someone's been doing some reading, but I'm sorry, Jordan, but I just don't get the feeling that you actually do textual study on a regular basis. You just don't speak as someone who does. Okay, this can be rather confusing, the average churchgoer with scripture memorization. Well, that's true. I suggest to people that you find a particular translation, utilize that translation. I don't know that. I think there's lots of stuff to be talked about having a standard translation in a particular, in the Pew Bible or read from the pulpit, or there's all sorts of issues like that. But you don't determine the text based upon pragmatics like that. That's one of the problems I have with the TR folks. And then it is also somewhat odd that the text we use today is one that never existed in the past. Now, I think what he means by that is that there is no one single manuscript that reads like the NA 27, and of course there is, or 28, and of course there is no single manuscript that reads like the Textus Receptus either. That's true. So what are you going to do? Say, well, we have to have a particular manuscript that we're going to make this one copyist. Again, it doesn't show an understanding of the multifocality of the transmission of the text, the fact we have multiple lines of transmission. And I think that's why the position tends to spread, is because people don't understand the way that the New Testament text actually has been preserved for us. As much as I'm never gonna finish Angem if I don't hurry up. As much as I reject the King James only IFB movement, there is a point to be made regarding the preservation of the text. Oh, no. The Textus Receptus demonstrates a much broader textual tradition in most places, which was in use throughout the majority of the history of the church. Jordan, if you're going to go this direction, the only way to go here is to go with a Byzantine platform, a Byzantine priority argument. I'm sorry. There is no argument for the TR that will survive even minimal cross-examination. It's not possible. There are readings in the TR that have no manuscript basis at all, period. Stop going back to the TR, people. Erasmus, yay Erasmus. He had 6 manuscripts. Okay? He made mistakes. Stephanos and Beza did not fix his mistakes. And the TR will never, ever, ever, ever live up to its name. And the TR that you people are holding in your hands, this one right here, the blue case-bound TR from the Trinitarian Bible Society, is an English text is a Greek text based upon an English text. Because this is Scrivener's work. Scrivener went back to those 7 printed texts the King James translators used, saw where there was differences, came up with this text based upon what the decisions of the King James translators were, and that's where this came from. There is no manuscript in the world that reads like this. It's not there. Okay? So this is not where you want to go. If you want to have a scholarly position, go get Dr. Robinson and go read his stuff and make the case for Byzantine priority. Now, it's going to come down to a fundamental presuppositional commitment. I've tried to reason through it, and Dr. Robinson will tell you, I've contacted him, I've talked to him, I've asked the tough questions. Well, why do you do? And it eventually comes down to a presuppositional commitment. But that's the best that you can do. The Textus Receptus is a dead end, and it's impossible to defend against folks like Bart Ehrman. You're putting yourself, and you're just how many toes do you have left after you shoot them all off? I don't know. If we truly believe that God preserves his word, shouldn't this have some theological implications regarding the text that we use? Yes, but Jordan, the way he preserved it is not in the TR. The way the New Testament was preserved for us was in the multifocality of the text. Multiple authors at multiple times writing to multiple audiences, resulting in multiple streams of transmission. That's where the preservation takes place. That's what we can say to the Muslim and say it is absolutely impossible that the changes you think have been made in the text of the New Testament could have been made in light of the manuscript tradition we have today. When Shirley MacLaine runs around saying that the Bible used to have reincarnation in it and they took it out at the Council of Constantinople, we can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that's impossible. Absolutely impossible. That's where the preservation is. Just because people don't understand that, they want to go for the, I'm tired of all these footnotes at the bottom of the page. Let's just glom onto this. It's indefensible. It's indefensible, folks. You can't defend it. You can assert it, but you can't defend it. It sounds real good in the pew. It sounds real good in the Christian ghetto. But if we get out of the ghetto and try to take it anyplace else,